Welcome back. The pharmaceutical industry pledges to spend as much as $80 billion over 10 years to make health care more affordable for older Americans. President Obama calls the deal a significant breakthrough for his plan to overhaul the health care system. Billy Tauzin is president and CEO of the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America. He joins us now from Washington to discuss how this deal would work. And we should mention that Mr. Tauzin is a former Republican congressman representing Louisiana. Congressman, welcome to Bloomberg News.
Hey, good to be with you, Mark.
Sir,
glad to talk about a great issue.
Yeah, this is something that you're very passionate about on a professional and a personal level, and we'll get to the personal in just a moment. But just give us your assessment so far of the administration's health care plan going forward.
Well, you know, it's still very, very risky. It's, I think most people have given it about a 50-50 chance until this last week. I think our agreement now pushes it over the edge. I think it's a 60-40 proposition. It's still very, very much in flux. It depends upon whether they're going to find the money to make it work and whether they can get past the very big hurdle of a public-private plan issue. Outside of that, this is very doable. And we've shown, I think, last week that at least one of the key players that we can all be part of the success story of reforming America's health care.
Well, Congressman, you talk about that public-private hurdle. It's not so much a hurdle as it is a gulf. There's a lot of back and forth going on this issue. Is that something where a compromise can be reached?
Sure. I mean, there's some good ideas out there in the Senate. I know there's an idea of a co-op. You know, people understand co-ops. I'm from the country. And we've all lived with co-ops for a long time, and they serve as a good check upon the for-profit side of things. And that's an idea that's gaining a lot of support right now as a position that might keep the private side honest, if you will, at the same time not move us into a single-payer system that many people are concerned about. What are the good ideas out there? I think we'll find it.
What are the main industry concessions that will need to be made to make this deal work?
Well, obviously the Senate and the House have to find almost half of the revenues from savings from the healthcare community. Pharmaceuticals only represent about 10% of the healthcare costs in America. That surprises people. 90% is doctors and hospitals and insurance costs in the system. Finding the rest of the savings in that big sector, that 90% of the sector,
right, pretty
tough job. And then secondly, you know, the other half has to come from some form of tax increases, and people are concerned about that. But let me make a point to you, Mark, that's very important, and that is that we're currently subsidizing, in the high cost of premiums, health care for the uninsured in America. They're still getting health care. They're getting the worst kind. They're getting it after they get too sick to stay healthy.
Right.
They end up in emergency rooms and, you know, high-cost care. We're subsidizing that every time you pay for your premium.
Well, Congressman,
insuring them properly...
Right. I'm sorry, finish. I'm sorry, sir.
No, I was saying getting them good insurance instead of subsidizing bad health care for them makes sense, and paying for it a different way than higher premiums also makes sense. We can figure this out if we try.
As I said during the intro, you had a personal story to tell, because you had a battle with cancer, which makes at least the thought of not having health care, that's a chilling thought for many Americans. But if you would briefly just tell us about your story.
Well, you know, I left Congress, not voluntarily, but because I got a diagnosis of cancer right against my pancreas. I had a 1% chance to survive when I left Congress. And the good news is I'm celebrating 5 years cancer-free now. I'm finally a cancer survivor. You know, we're watching cancer deaths drop in America. We've got, believe it or not, 860 new cancer drugs being tested in America. We're going to cure cancer and diabetes and Alzheimer's if we give them the chance to do that in the great labs across this country, where 70% of the world's research is done. So fixing our healthcare system so more and more people can have the second chance at life that I was given is a passion I think many of us share in the patient community. And now I'm working for the very companies that invented the medicine that saved my life. So this is kind of a mission for me, Mark.
Former Louisiana Congressman Billy Tauzin, President and CEO of the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America. Congressman, thanks.